All right. I played the game you wanted. Cleaning my lenses. Hello, Elaine Marolakos Edelson with Astrology Mojo. Oh, and I'm back. And I hope you can join me today. I had a lot of little tech things going on here. Yeah, we're going to be talking about the eclipses, Mercury in retrograde, summer solstice. Ultimately, you being in service and setting those boundaries and maintaining your power. Good morning. Good morning, everyone. Hi, Renee. So, and then I pulled some cards and my astro dice and I'm all set to go. I was so tired this morning. I'm starting to feel everything. Eclipses, I'm playing with all my stuff here. I've got my kunzite, pretty little stone, very high vibe, my shungite, actually, carbon. I've been doing some research on this and its antibacterial properties and healing abilities. Anyway, come join me. If you don't know me, then you don't know that I say that astrology and planets don't make you do anything, that we live in a cooperation with the cosmos. When the planets make a move, you feel it. When anything makes a move, you feel it. How could it be otherwise? We are connected to everything. And when you make a move, the planets reflect that by way of aspects and angles in astrology. Basically, astrology tells you what time it is. It's not positive. It's not negative. And we just need to understand that so we know that we're not puppets, that we have the power, and it's a tool. We use it as a tool to understand our world, to make sense of it, to set those boundaries, which we're going to talk about today, and to really make sense of who we are and who we are becoming, because we are in it, people. I say, bring it on. We are in it. And what we're in is an evolutionary, revolutionary stage. You feel it, right? This is not new. The past couple of months, actually it started before that, but the past couple of months we see it expressed. You know, when you're starting to feel not so healthy, or you feel something, there's an undercurrent of something, it has already shown up in your aura before you're aware of it in your intellect. That something needs to transform in order for you to be who you came here to be. Good morning, Christine. So this whole, everything that we're undergoing, it's not just about one little thing. It's not just about a virus. It's not just about, it's a collective, uniform time frame where you can align body, mind, spirit. Now, there is always resistance. You will be assimilated. Resistance is futile. Star Trek, I'm a Trekkie. I'm in the Trek camp. But there's always resistance to any kind of transformation, right? And my hair, you know, I saw a friend the other day. At night, I get very warm here. So I tie my hair up in a knot on top of my head and I sleep that way. And then I wake up and I'm like, oh, I have all these bumps and weird whatever. So I saw a friend the other day and she said, oh, you look like a Breck commercial. Isn't that nice? Okay, so as I play with my shungite. What we're going to talk about today are the eclipses, solstice, retrogrades, but primarily your need to serve in whatever way, shape, or form so that you see freedom occur for yourself or others, but mostly for yourself, right? Because that's where it's got to start. And then, let me just move that. And then the realization that it ought not be with judgment or at the sake of yourself. Two things. We got to really fine tune, right? Yeah. You know, yes, we're going to live long and prosper, says Christine. We are. We will live long and prosper. And isn't it fascinating what we're undergoing right now? Because there's so much, everything thrown up in the air. but yet you want to find some semblance of reality for you, what it means to be you. So now's the time to do your research. Now's the time to really pay attention to your feeling on the inside. When suddenly something changes and you say, that doesn't feel right. Why? I just got angry. I just got judgmental. I just got snippy. Okay, well, you know, what I've been preaching, okay, I just have to move this weird look. What I've been preaching for years is you always take care of your body, mind, spirit. So are you hungry? Are you thirsty? Are you tired? Do you need a nutrient that you're deficient in? You know, so you take a look at all the collective elements, the whole. And with the Mercury in retrograde in Cancer and the solar eclipse in Cancer, coupled with the solstice, this is a powerful time of self-care. Now, some people would say, oh, I need a bath, or I need a weekend off, or I need time away from my family. I've been locked up. I'm cooped up. I need to get back to work. I need, you know, so you examine your needs right now and then ask yourself, how do you go about meeting those needs? Now, it's not always going to be the same as before because more people are going online. Where I get my gems, most of them, here's a malachite I just got. I love it. Look at that one side. It's so primeval. And then on the other side, it's, well, I'm on green screen, so you can't really see the green color, but it's a very emerald color, and the bottom is a shiny black-ish dark green. So I go to Copper Canyon Lapidary. They do shows around the country and now are forced to go online. And so that's been their evolution. And when they get set up and running, I want to make sure you have their link so you can go and get their amazing stuff for not a lot of cash. But that's another topic for another day. But in the meantime, as we make our transitions and adjustments and fine tweak and tune and, you know, we have to get over ourselves as we move along, right? We just have to. Come say hello to me today. We're talking about the Mercury in retrograde in Cancer and the lunar, well, we're already in the lunar eclipse of Sagittarius, so that's in play. It's, you know, the stuff that comes up, the stuff that you don't want to deal with, the stuff that you don't want to feel, especially dealing with women or your own feminine sense of vulnerability, women's issues. I'm going to post it on my Facebook page, but I saw a very appropriate and hysterical SNL skit, on racism. And I thought it was brilliant because, well, I won't give it away, but I'm going to post it and you can see that the point of view of racism from different races is going to be very different. Anyway, I'll save that too. So you see this whole thing that's emerging now. Oh, and my husband just told me that the Supreme Court, 6-3, in favor of rights for LGBTQ. Yeah. Yay. People are people, right? Everybody deserves freedom. Everybody deserves rights. Okay, I'm going to put down my rant shungite ball. Take a sip of I mixed my tea today, so it's kind of like a cranberry, burgundy, hibiscus with butterfly pea flower. And so where we go in a solstice is a new beginning. The meditation for a solstice is awareness that, okay, like I've said before, when I walk my dog every morning, I say my meditation prayer. And I say, thank you. I got to move my thing here. Maybe this will work. I don't know. I say, thank you to the sun for shedding light, illuminating the path and the truth, for keeping us warm, for helping things to grow. This is part of, ancient solstice practices, which you welcome at different times of the year, and the earth that helps you keep you grounded. Thank you to the earth for showing you many different paths to the truth, right? And during the solstice, combined with the solar eclipse in Cancer, June 20th, 21st, depending on where you live in the world, this is a time to really look at, how do you care for yourself? Because you are part of the collective. If you abuse or neglect or sabotage yourself, you're in my living room. I'm feeling it. Every cell in my body is represented by something in the world. My own belief system, which may not be conscious. You might say, oh no, of course, I would give, I would serve, well, of course. It's the compassionate kind of thing to do. And yet, down deep, there may be limitations to what you will do, how you'll do it, or why, but that you're not aware of. And this is what we live in. This is the resistance of human condition. That's what we live in. So come join me. Let's talk more about it, what you can do. And I pulled a bunch of cards this morning. I've got the Astro Dice in play. Hi, Deb is here. Taurus, Pisces, Rising, Aquarius, Moon. Oh, I'm sorry that you're struggling to be alone too much. There's got to be a way that you can bridge your mind. If you've got a Venus in Gemini and it's retrograde it's retrograde right now, you're understanding that that you probably already knew that you needed connection, right? You probably already knew that. But now, what is it that you can do to give to yourself? And there's got to be a way to take walks. I mean, some people have a belief that as you are healing or as you are living or negotiating this pandemic, that you have to wear a mask in your car when you're alone, when you're outside and the air is, circulating, or that you're in a store. You have to do what you feel you need to do for you, and also based on what you believe. But when it comes to being alone so much, a lot of people are sharing that situation. It's not the same. I know it's not the same to FaceTime someone or to Zoom with someone. There's no touching involved. We need human contact. So wherever possible, suit up, wear the gloves, the mask, make an agreement with neighbors or friends or family and say, you suit up, I'll suit up. I need a hug. I need human contact. And then you can, spray. And then you could spray yourself. But get that if you need that. It's important. So when I rolled the dice this morning, pardon, I focused on, I just have to move my hair sticking to the thing here. I focused on the collective group in this time for self-care, but yet also interaction with each other. Because that's what everything's kind of thrown in the mix right now, right? So when I rolled the dice, I got Saturn, this is the issue. And Saturn represents the structure, and we are Saturn in Capricorn right now. So the issue is Saturn for this particular reading. So with Saturn, it is overcoming your denial. Saturn is one of the two karmic planets. Neptune is the other one. So you see, that's the symbol of Saturn. Saturn, overcoming your limitations and denial based on outdated, very archaic or arcane beliefs. So let's say lifetimes ago, or even in your childhood or in your 20s, you believed one thing. And I'm not going to do that until it's proven. It's got to be scientifically proven before I even try that. Because, I'm not going to mess with things, right? So maybe that was your belief. Or maybe it was, no, people ought to barter. Let's get rid of money. Let's barter. That's what we used to do in the olden days. You had something I need. I have something they need. We all barter together. So now you have to re-examine your beliefs. Saturn is asking you to overcome your resistance. And you may not know what that means because you might be thinking, I'm following the rules. That's a Saturn thing. I'm doing everything I'm supposed to do. That's a Saturn thing. I'm taking all responsibility for myself. That's a Saturn thing. And in that, you may be disallowing help. You know, when I talk about service and boundaries, it's not just you giving, it's about you allowing yourself to receive. So maybe when someone says to you, like someone said to me, just at the turn of this is like a new century for us. It's just at the turn of our pandemic century. A Reiki master said to me, I can come to your house. My family's home now, so I can't bring people into my house, but I can come to your house. And I was like, no, that's okay. Why didn't I say yes? Because I'm a Capricorn rising and Saturn guides Capricorn. And I thought, no, it's fine. You want to stay safe with your family. I'm not going to jeopardize that. I know I'm healthy. But still, I had an offer that I refused because of a belief system that it's like Chippendale. If you're old enough to know Chippendale, two little chipmunks who are always giving to each other. Oh, no, after you. No, no, after you. No, you first. No, no, no. I insist. How can we ever receive if we've got this barrier, okay, to allowing? So the issue is Saturn. So now we have to set a healthy structure and become the authority. Know what you know what is good for you, know what is true for you, know what is your truth, not necessarily the truth, so help you, but your truth. And what is it? And how can you apply that now? So that's what's happening, Saturn, the structure, setting up a new structure, and this is how it feels. And I kid you not, Cancer. This is how it feels. It feels like I need nurturing. I want to give nurturing. I need to be part of something greater. I need to serve. How can I help? What can I do? I'm feeling so emotional. I'm so overwhelmed. I'm too sensitive. This is all Cancer stuff. My finances are in the crap hole. My finances have just skyrocketed. I need to organize my paperwork. That's Saturn setting the structure. Where Saturn represents a healthy structure, an authority. Now, the authority might be the government, a policeman, or a woman, person. Or the authority is you, your inner knowing about what you need for you and why. Let's go there. Let's look at what you need and how to restructure that. In Cancer, Cancer represents on the high end, well, on the low end, it's does not communicate. It comes out sideways with passive-aggressive energy or anger, or nothing at all, and then holds it in and then implodes with illness. Or the Cancer, the crab, scuttles to the left and to the right to stay in a defensive posture. And it can be very argumentative. That's on the low end because it's protective of. Now on the higher end, it deals with your family, the home and hearth. It deals with children and women's issues. It deals with healing the body, especially the breasts, the stomach, and watching those stress levels of cortisol and or sugar, like the need for sugar or something crunchy. On the high end, it also involves your finances. So Cancer eclipse, a solar eclipse, is a masculine vibe that sheds light on what do you need right now and how are you going to meet your need. And if you can't, who can you talk to? That's giving up that Saturn resistance of setting the new structure. Who can you talk to? There's going to be somebody you can talk to. Now, so Saturn, that's what's happening. Where is it? There it is. What's happening? How it feels, very sensitive, very empathic, very sentimental. And where does it take place? In your identity. First house, personality, childhood traumas. All right, so let's go to those places while we have this opportunity. Inside a Venus in retrograde, inside a Mercury in retrograde. And technically, the Mercury in retrograde is June 17th to July 12th, but we're already in it. We have been for weeks, and it will unfold itself between July 12th and the 22nd-ish. Okay? So practical topics, your finances, your health, self-care, your independence, your freedoms, creating those structures that help you to get from here to there without the resistance, without the defense, without the judgment, and without the struggle. So how do you do that? Do we have 17 hours in a row? Let's do a marathon. Set those boundaries. Get your needs met. Come one, come all. Let me just check in and say hello. Hi, peoples. Thanks for being here. All right, if you're just joining us, we're talking about the we're talking about the solar eclipse in Cancer at 0 degrees. Oh, by the way, 0 degrees, 21 minutes. If you have your chart and you know where Cancer is in your chart, then you know what topics are going to come up in those houses. So if you don't have your chart, now is a great time to get one. Let me post the link for you. You can get your free birth chart here, and with it, you get a free personal sun sign reading. And then from there, consider getting your life profile. Let me just post the link. Did it work? I think so. Okay. Yeah, there it is. And with it, you get a lot of goodies. So take advantage of it. It's only $37. Your astrological life profile. I got to move things around on my screen. You get your sun, your rising, your moon signs, all your planetary house placements, aspects and angles, and then there's a bonus report that you get. Mercury in retrograde, moon void, of course, part of fortune, and tap your intuition. So consider that. I mean, it's not a huge investment, but it is a great investment in you and learning more about yourself. Okay, so I'm clicking things around on the screen so I can talk about my next topic. Come say hello to me. If we're talking about the solar eclipse in Cancer, then I have to bring up the lunar eclipse in Sagittarius that happened already on June 5th, I think it was. But it's been in play for months for a lot of people, especially if you have any mutable sign or cardinal sign are most affected. And mutable is Sagittarius, Gemini, Virgo, and Pisces. Mutable is more lighter on the high side, more cynical or judgmental on the low side. Has the need to move, have fun, gather information, share that information, be part of the collective of, hey, did you know? Let me pass it on. Now on the low vibe, it's a gossip thing, which I want to bring up right now. With the Mercury in retrograde in Cancer, with all of these energies, it's not just one thing, but the whole combination is going to want to equal you blabbing about somebody else. You getting involved in somebody else's skirmish of judgment. As people are hurling their crap at one another, you're going to want to get involved. Now, okay, just be aware that, and I'm not saying don't or do get involved. I'm saying be aware of your need to and the why. What are you defending or what are you protecting? Low end is defense, high end is protection. And how do you go about doing that? How do you say that? How do you express yourself? Does it come out sideways? Does it come out passive aggressive? Does it come out in one angry blub? Are you hurling it? Or is it the opposite? And you're like, oh, yeah, I understand. I understand your need to be angry and judgmental and harm. I totally understand. So we have to watch the extremes of what we want to express and why, especially during this time frame through August, because what we're going to experience is the loop. You understand the loop, right? What goes around comes around. So if you just have to be the one to share someone else's information before they share it without their permission, at some point, that vibe gets equaled out. This is a time of instant karma, my friends. So, right, because Saturn's involved. And so I want you to be really aware of being at the top of your game, your highest vibe possible, so that if you have the need to, you get angry, you see what's going on in the world, and you say, oh my God, why are they doing that? It makes me so incensed. I can't believe it, And so, yeah, you feel that because you're part of the collective. But astrologically speaking, and psychologically speaking, if you lift yourself up by putting someone else down, you're in my living room causing harm. You just got to be aware of that. And sometimes the kindest, most amazing, generous, compassionate person will get caught in the loop. As an example, I signed up months ago to, is it called Next Door Village or Next Door Neighbor? So you get to see what other people are selling or doing if they need help, or hey, I'm wondering if this restaurant is open. Does anybody have an experience? And people share their stuff. Well, this morning I didn't read the whole thing. I just saw a small blurb and some of the comments. Apparently, in a certain neighborhood, a pedophile has moved in. And so you have to announce that. It has to be announced by the police that someone has moved in to the neighborhood if they are a pedophile. And I saw only 3 comments, and then I got busy doing something else, but I saw only 3 comments, and one of them, let's put dog stuff, crap, on their front porch. Let's break their windows. And I was like, oh my God. Now, my first initial response was a reaction, not really a response. I was like, who the bleep are you? That in 100% of cases of pedophiles, they were originally a victim. So they were a child who was abused and they grow up to become an abuser. I'm not excusing them. I'm not rationalizing their behavior. I'm not defending them. But when you look at the whole picture, you say, oh, wow, if I had a small child, I would want to know. I would want to be aware. Because I don't know the person. I don't know what kind of help they sought. I don't know what they're undergoing. But for people to just start spewing and hurling, it did not sit well with me. And then I wanted to just get on there and start, well, blah, 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 and who are you to judge? And I stopped and thought, not my circus, not my monkeys. That's an old Polish saying that I think is brilliant, right? Not my circus, not my monkeys. So if you feel the need to help someone and to set that boundary between you and them while serving, it's a good time to close your eyes, take a nice deep breath, get rid of your judgments and your scrappy kind of responses to yourself, let it go, and then set a new structure. I send light to all people involved. Pink light, white light, rainbow light. I send light to all people involved to help them heal. They take the light as they need it. I don't force it on them. I don't, hose blast them with divinity and light. Not my job. Not my circus. Not my monkeys. But I will offer love. So if it settles on any one of them, they may think back on their post and say, well, I'm going to retract my statement. Or I feel bad that I said that. Or nothing. Or they're going to do what they do. I feel comfortable knowing that I did not engage, and I almost did. I almost filled an emotional shotgun with pellets. But I didn't. So I caught myself and I set a new structure. Does that make sense? This is something we want to look at doing because it's going to get harder in the next couple of weeks to not. We're going to want to judge. We're going to want to be justified. We're going to want to step on someone to elevate our own. Told you. You should have taken the vitamin C. I told you. Should have sprayed your hands, your doorknob, your what? Told you. The told you so energy is contradictory to what we're trying to achieve. Now, make sense? Come join me if you're just joining. You can catch me in the replay here, and then by Thursday, with all the tech things happening, we hope it goes well, I will be uploading more videos to YouTube, and that's Elaine Marolakos Edelson, Astrology Mojo, on my YouTube channel, where if you've missed out on some of the things, I need to cut my own hair. I think it's time. I did it last week. I got to do it again. I took about this much off the bottom of my hair. Yeah. Now I got to go back and do the bangs. Okay. So, all right, YouTube. So you can get to YouTube and you can catch up on all the videos that you might not have in the past. Okay, so I will be back again on Thursday talking about more amazing things during this retrograde in Cancer. This, let's see, what else have we got? Solar eclipse in Cancer, summer solstice, if you're in the Northern Hemisphere. The lunar eclipse in Sagittarius vibe is on us, the Venus in retrograde in Gemini, and a couple of practical tips. If you know that the moon is void, and it typically goes void the day-ish when Mercury goes retrograde. So let me just double check. Anytime there's a moon void, of course, do your own research and your own experiments. But what I find is during this concentrated time of retrogrades on top of moon void, it doesn't mean don't go after your dreams. It just means reevaluate. You might have missed something before you make that presentation. Technically speaking, voids are great for spiritual practices, for rejuvenation. So let me just check this week. Okay. So we have Wednesday, the 17th of June. Mercury goes retrograde at 9:59 p.m. Pacific time. So it's already retrograde on the East Coast by the next day. And following suit, 5:02 a.m. or 8:02 a.m. on the East Coast, 5:02 a.m. Pacific time through 2 p.m. Pacific time, the moon is void. So when the moon goes void and when Mercury goes retrograde simultaneously, there's a ka-clunk in the wave. There's a, hey, my phone stopped working. And then you try to spend 47 hours with a tech person to get it fixed. Or, wait a minute, Netflix just shut down. What happened? Or it's frozen on my screen. These kinds of things are going to happen, especially during the transition of a planet from the point of view of the Earth. You know, from other planets, certain things are not retrograde, right? So it's our perception and it's our experience to have, it's like a blip or a glitch. And that glitch is something I want you to pay attention to. Because in that glitch, you might feel lost, you might feel disconnected, you might feel hopeless. But in that glitch is where the hope is. It's where your resistance is. It's where your core judgments are. It's where you look at meditating or doing something beautiful and wonderful. Like Deb said, she walks and does yoga. So finding something, whether it be music and not so much a person outside yourself, like calling up a friend, oh my God, I blah, blah. We want to go inward because that's where we're going to find our own glitches. That's where we're going to find our own disconnection. And that's where the resistance is. The gears that are like stuck and they want to turn and they don't because we have a judgment that we are unaware of, or we have a wound that we are unaware of. Now, in the practical world, you want to be really careful driving, look both ways 14 times, because it's not just you, it's other people, right? It's like the Browning movement in science. All the cells start bouncing into one another. And because everyone has a different perception. I made some really great keto food and these treats for some friends. And I was driving by and I swore I would have sworn that I put my vegan crackers in there for a vegan friend of mine. Because in my mind, it was the first thing I did. So I get there as I'm on my way somewhere, and I drop off at this office, and I say, got my treats for everybody, and I pull out everything, and I was like, wait, where are the crackers? They were by my front door. I really thought I put them in there. So you might have moments of, wait, what's my reality? Did I dream it? Why am I standing in the kitchen with a spatula and a shoe? What was I thinking 2 seconds before that brought me to this place? So being present is going to be essential during this time frame. And that is, what's the clue? What's the prompt? The trigger is the moment you feel like you want to hide, you want to judge, you want to cry, anything less than negative. Okay? I mean, less than neutral. Anything less than neutral is where you want to go. Put your focus and say, I'm going to dive right into that black hole because I feel disconnected. I feel enraged. I feel so sad. And that's where you call in light and bring in light. Suck it in from the sun, from every star system. Pull light in, as Steve Nobel says. Pull light into every cell in your body and reignite yourself. And you will shed light. This is my imaginary flashlight. You will shed light on that part of you that is resistant or wounded so that you can heal it. Does that make sense? Yes. Eileen says, I'm ready for this Cancer Cap eclipse energy to be past tense. Let's have it be present tense. I know what you mean. I'm a Capricorn rising. And but what, as such, the Cancer solar eclipse is in my house of health and work. So I'm focused on getting some things finished work-wise, but also certain parts of my body are like complaining to me. And 3 weeks ago, that's when it started for me, tennis elbow. I don't play tennis. So it's the way I sit at the computer. It's how I write. It's where I have my mouse. So it's bringing attention to parts of me that are not aware, that are not present. So now I can heal the structure we talked about, or the procedure, or the how I get there. I want to finish writing an email and like my shoulder's coming up and my wrist is hurt. And I'm like, wait a minute, why am I hurting myself to get an email done? So the awareness comes to, what is it that you are doing that you are resisting? What is it that you need to do, think, eat, be, that you are resisting? What is it that you're doing that needs to end, that you are resisting? That's going to be the big question for a lot of people, especially people who are in a place of victimization. You are not a victim. You have power. Every cell in your body lights up like a miracle rainbow, like a crystal chandelier. So I'm going to read these cards that I pulled, written by Alana Fairchild, and illustrated by Andrew Gonzalez, amazing illustrator. I actually have one of his paintings. They're stunning. They're ethereal, they're celestial, they're healing for me. I hope they are for you. Okay. The first card I pulled. Okay, I'm going to show you the backs of these cards. They are wolves. They are all the same exact color. well, they're tan. So I don't know if you can see that. They're just tan, right? Like tan, a little bit of gray, and blue eyes. When I was flipping these cards this morning, and they're big and stiff, so it was kind of hard to do. So I was like flipping them. And for my people this week on Facebook, for my people watching, advice. And the first card came out, and it looked like the rest of the deck. And then my eyes went to another card, looked absolutely orange. And I had to look at it and examine it. And I thought, was that me? I don't have anything orange in my office. So I thought, okay, I'm being told to pull that card. So the first one is called the Pearl of Shadow. It's so beautiful. Hang on before I drop it. And you see that? The Pearl of Shadow. And it has to do with taking responsibility for your experiences so that they empower you. Let me read the blurb. You are going to resolve an issue through spiritual inspiration and higher guidance. You will rise up in full connection to your spirit and access a wealth of divine treasure. Let me straighten that out for you. A wealth of divine treasure. That which has brought darkness into your world shall submit to the light and be transformed. What are we talking about? Right? Have courage and commitment to your awakening, for you are a precious being and can go far on the spiritual path in this lifetime. That's a beautiful message, right? You can, but now is the time to really pay attention. Just be as present as possible. Because during this time, you're going to be shown that, okay, and those of us with a conscience we hate this. We do, when we're shown that we are responsible for our own sorrow, for a mishap in the world, when we become aware of something that we've done, we've stepped on someone's toes, we want to hide because of our shame, and then guilt, and then we don't want to admit it, because how could I be the person I tell myself I am and tell other people I am, but yet I've done this thing? But if you were unaware, then you just own it. It's hard, I know, but you own it. And you say, this is why it's hard for me to judge other people, although the initial judgment will come up, and then I realize I was you yesterday, I am you today, or I will be you tomorrow. I will have healthy boundaries in place to harm or toxicity, but I understand. Understanding does not mean I accept the behavior if it's harmful. I understand it. Make sense? There is a distinction. So take responsibility for your actions, and it will empower you. That's what the Pearl of Shadow is telling you. Okay, now the orange card, this is new for me because I haven't pulled this one. Pretty cool, huh? Look at that. It's called Arshan Barbello. Your biology and gender are creative and powerful means for you to express your soul path. Sometimes, the card was slipping a little bit. Sometimes you may feel limited by gender constraints or stereotypes, but your spirit can never be restricted or controlled. I think that is so important to hear, especially for the LGBTQ community, especially now. Your spirit can never be restricted or controlled. Embrace the journey of what it feels like to be you in your own body. There is much benefit and healing to be gained through an embrace of your life journey, including the deeper experience of the absolute freedom of your spirit. Freedom of your spirit. So, because I've never pulled this card before, I'm just going to read a little bit more. It says, Arshan Barbello is an angel goddess, divine mother, and sacred space. She is mysterious and powerful. She is the inviolable, I don't even know this word. Inviolable, I'll have to look that up. Purity and truth of your being, the spiritual essence within you that is eternal and cannot be tainted or distorted. Her presence in a reading, this is the important asterisk, her presence in a reading is a sign that any errors in judgment shall be corrected and any losses shall be restored. So this also ties into the last card, where if you've done something that you need to rectify, truth and honesty will create empowerment. And then everything else will come into alignment. I like that. Thank you. Thank you, Spirit. Thank you, angels. Thank you, Starseed. Now, I'll be back on Thursday, so please be as present as possible. Come from compassion in as many moments as possible. And wherever possible, laugh more. Have a little bit of fun. You can. I'm going to post that SNL video I saw, which was like, yeah, so true. Be you. Be sparkly. You are. Be well. And as always, I wish you peace. I'll see you on Thursday.